Okay, so that's a recording underway. Well, that is happening. Um, Good evening, Kirsty. Great to see you. And as you're joining, feel free to drop in the chat where you're calling in from. Those of you that don't know me, my name is Lisa Johnston. I am a Connect United community member, and I have the great pleasure of sharing with you tonight all things blockchain, BlockBot, sharing some insights and some new information for you. So super excited. Now, just to kind of give you a little bit of a heads up on who I am and how I came about to be playing in this space. So, as I said, my name's Lisa. I'm actually dialing in from the Redlands area of Brisbane, Kirsty. So great to have you here. And so, for me, I've been playing in the blockchain space for about 3 years now. I'm an older mum of two very young women, so in their late teens, almost about to leave their teens. Welcome, Bangladesh. Great to have you in the house. Always a pleasure. I love the love we get from Bangladesh. So I started playing in this space mainly because when I vividly remember sitting in the high school intro into my eldest daughter starting high school, and the principal stating that a lot of uh, the jobs that were currently available at that time, probably about 50% wouldn't be available by the time my children got to the end of high school. And now, knowing what I know in this space and how fast the blockchain is rapidly growing, I know that that actually is much higher than that, 70 to 80, they're saying now, which is even crazier when you come to think of it. And you can either look at it from one perspective or another. You can see it as um, as something to worry about, or you can see it as opportunity. And I'm always one that's up for opportunity. And so I'm going to switch off now the comments just for the moment because I can get easily distracted by them. And I just want to be really present for you guys and do this presentation for you. So as you're coming on, please share in the chat where you're dialing in from. Always love to see that. And my good friend Jude is still traveling at the moment, who normally helps out in the chat. So I will swing back around at the end and answer any questions that may come up. Bear in mind as well that I'm going to run through quite a lot, so I may answer the questions as I'm going along. So, as I was saying, the reason why I started to investigate this was when the principal said that majority of jobs wouldn't even exist by the time my kids got to the end of high school. I was like, excuse me, I do have a bit of a tickly cough, so I apologize if I'm coughing in between. So, um, so yeah, my daughters, when the principal said that, I was like, oh my goodness, I definitely have to see what's going on in the world and where the changes are. And so that's how it came about that I even sort of started to consider looking into this space. And then also with the crazy stuff that happened about 5 years ago, just kind of made me realize that things probably weren't, or definitely not probably, weren't what I thought they were. And I sort of started to take my blinkers off and have a look at what was really going on in the world. And so that was the opportunity in that it allowed me to see blockchain be open to what it was and really just to explore. And as I said, I've been playing in this space now for about 3 years. It super excites me. And I want to give you grace if you're right at the beginning. If you are right at the beginning, welcome. Great to have you here. And what I want to say to you is give yourself grace. Because if you are anything like me, I needed to see this sort of information 3, 4, 5 times before things started to land. And I really kind of understood and started to get my head around what was really what this was about. And the more that you educate yourself, so that was one of the things I really considered as an important thing. I consider myself a forever student, and one of the things that I really wanted to do was to at least educate myself in this space and to really sort of just see what was going on and what was available. So, if this is your first time, welcome. Wonderful to have you here. And as I was saying, just drop in the chat as you come on where you're calling in from. Love to hear where you're coming in from. And yes, if you have any questions, pop them in there and I will swing back around at the end and answer those for you. So, without any further ado, I am going to jump in and share my screen with you and start our presentation for tonight. So, first of all, as I said, welcome. Wonderful to have you here. And so this page here is our, disclaimers. So let me just simplify that legal page for you in plain English. No hype, no guarantees, just value and transparency. We're not offering any get rich quick schemes. We're offering tools. This is about empowerment through education and tech, and you are responsible for your own journey. We're just here to help you illuminate that path and just to educate yourself, like I was saying. So, for me, I consider myself a forever student. And one of the things that I got from when I heard that message from the principal at my girls' school, I was like, I need to at least explore and educate myself because it costs nothing to educate yourself. So, feel free to take a screenshot of that. I'm not going to read through all of the details, but what we've got here is a disclaimer summary for you, and I will run over this definitely. So this may, as I'm going through here, it may contain some forward-looking statements. There's no earning claims or financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. The digital rewards are for utility and DYOR. So do your own research. Okay, that is one of the biggest things in this space always, is to definitely always do your due diligence and do your own research. The information tonight that I'm providing is for educational purposes, and the nodes and blockchain are governed by the DGF, so the distribution governance framework. So that is what what I wanted to sort of speak into about the page previously. So I'm not sure about you, or if you're feeling in this space or have felt in this space, but the world really feels broken. So let's start by naming what most people only feel. Excuse me. Excuse me. Something is truly broken, and whether it's finance, healthcare, education, or media, we all know it. There is definitely some big problems going on in the world, and the system that was meant to serve us has become a system that controls us. And the truth is, the old world's crumbling, and a new one is truly being built as we speak. So let's get a little more specific. It's not just that the systems are broken. And let's talk into it a little bit more. So, if you think about energy or electricity, we're overpaying for outdated infrastructure. Well, it's destroying the planet. The food, wow, gosh, where do we start with that? We're served so much shelf-stable produce and products that are filled with chemicals and not nutrition. Here in Australia, about 6 weeks, maybe 2 months ago now, we found out that the government had passed for legalising lab-grown meat, and that is not cool. That is not okay. And so these sorts of things are coming at us hard and fast, and we need to be aware of that. And there is some serious problems with our ag and our food, and that's a big problem. Also in our healthcare, we manage symptoms endlessly, and we never address the root cause. So that's another problem. And again, nutrition, healthcare kind of hand in hand there. Finance, I'm not sure the last time you went to the bank to try and pull some of your own money out, in maybe a couple of thousand, and whether or not the same thing happened to you that happened to me, in that, it was like the Spanish Inquisition. It was a million questions on why. And if I didn't tick the boxes, they weren't going to give me my money back. And in finance, a small group controls access and the wealth. Well, everybody else is struggling just to keep up. And these aren't isolated problems, they're systematic. So, AI, now, let's talk about what's coming at us, and it's coming at us fast. AI is accelerating faster than any technology we've seen before. ChatGPT, I use it, and pretty sure that a large number of people on the call tonight would definitely be using it as well. Well, ChatGPT reached 1 million users in 5 days. By 2 months, that had grown to 100 million. That's crazy. So big tech, OpenAI, Google, Meta, they're racing to dominate the future. And here's the real issue, though. What this is unchecked power. Now, let that land. I'm going to repeat that again. The real issue, unchecked power. Not cool. So it's not just innovation, it's control. So through all of this transformation, through every click, every word spoken, every movement being tracked, big tech is and has watched. They've listened, they've learned, and they've profited. And we've got nothing in return. That ends today. I'm here to tell you. So let's take a look closer at how the internet has evolved, because to understand where we're going next, we really need to kind of look backwards and understand where we've been. Okay, so on this graph, as an example, Web 1 was the era of, like the read-only network. So think about static websites, early e-commerce, and, big corporate buildings, corporations building the infrastructure. And users could consume the content only. They had absolutely no power whatsoever. That was sort of the era of, when you would get the disk, the floppy disk that you would put in. Those of you that are old enough, you'd put into the computer to get yourself on the internet, and it'd sort of do this windy noise to get you onto the internet. So some of you may or may not remember that. The next one along the graph was Web 2. This brought us social media, platforms like Facebook and Airbnb, and they actually created huge value, and they controlled everything: your data, your network, your identity, all centralized and owned by them. And this was the rise of the platform capitalism. So then next came Web 3 and the promise of decentralization. Ownership moved into the hands of users through things like crypto, blockchain first came in, and tokens. And we started to see this peer-to-peer value transfer, smart contracts and decentralized apps, and it's still evolving. Okay. So now look at the very end of that graph where the question mark is on the far right. So what's next? And that's what we're going to dive into tonight, because Web 4 isn't just an upgrade, it's a fundamental shift. And I'm freaking excited to be sharing it with you. So crypto and artificial intelligence could be a 20 trillion mega trend. Okay. That's not just hype, that's a warning shot. We're witnessing the early stages of the biggest economic shift since the internet. Crypto and AI aren't two separate trends anymore. They're converging. And together, they're forming a new digital infrastructure. This $20 trillion mega trend is not about speculation, it's about participation. A real opportunity. The real opportunity isn't buying coins, it's building with the tech. I'm just going to take my jumper off because I'm getting a bit hot. That's what happens when you present and you're under the lights and all the rest of it. Getting real here, people. Keeping it real. So, as I was saying, the real opportunity isn't buying coins, it's building with the tech. Okay. And these and really those that position themselves right now will really lead the future. So let me introduce you to Web 4, not just the next version of the internet, a complete paradigm shift. So sit back, just be prepared, like open your brain because this is like a whole new world, paradigm shift, whole new way of thinking. Okay. So in Web 4, AI works for you, not against you. Blockchain protects and rewards you instead of harvesting and selling all of your data. Value flows to you, not the middleman or the platforms, and your entire digital life becomes automated, connected, and most importantly, owned by you. Hashtag we own this. So cool. So this isn't a space for you to scroll. Web 4 is a world for you to live inside. Everything becomes personalized, intelligent, and rewarding by design. That's the key. And by design by you. And that's where BlockBot comes in. So, Web 4 isn't just a tech upgrade, it's an emotional shift. It feels different because it puts you in the center of your digital world. Your AI doesn't wait, it anticipates. Your data isn't exploited, it's protected. Your actions don't disappear, they're rewarded. Your calendar, tools, and finances finally work in sync. This isn't about more apps, it's about less chaos and more control back to you. You're no longer just the user of the platforms, you're the owner, the operator, the one that's in charge. That's the promise of Web 4, and we're building it right now. So I'm just going to take a mouthful of water while you enjoy that view of that next slide. So projected 20 trillion market opportunity by 2030. How cool is that? So AI, that is a $1.81 trillion business. Blockchain, 15 to 20 trillion. And social, 1.4 to 116 trillion in advertising revenue. So that's what the big guys are making from harvesting and using your data. Just got a question for you. How much of that are you getting? Like, just let that land. They are harvesting and collecting all of your information. They're getting rewarded. They're getting paid. Their pockets are getting fuller and fuller. What about you? So this vision, it didn't just start yesterday. It was back in 2015 where we began patenting the foundational technology for something the world had never seen. An AI robot, not controlled by big tech anymore, powered by the blockchain. A digital being designed to work for you, not to spy on you. Your friend, your buddy, here he is. 10 years later, that vision is no longer a dream. The future's arrived, and its name is BlockBot. How cool is he? So cool. I love BlockBot. So it's an AI assistant, a guide, a new kind of digital twin, and it's powered by the blockchain, not by corporate greed. BlockBot isn't just a new tool, it's a revolution. It's the way we connect to the internet. A digital assistant powered by the blockchain, designed to serve you, not to track you. And this is our gateway into Web 4, a world where you're in control. You know, we've seen this kind of shift before. The internet gave us the AOL, which is what I was talking about, that disk, and changed how we accessed information. Mobile, this little guy here, gave us the iPhone and changed how we connected on the go. AI, as I spoke before, gave us ChatGPT and changed how we learned and created. And now Web 4 gives us BlockBot, your guide to the next evolution of the web. It lives on the blockchain and it works for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pardon me, she, it's always learning, always helping, always earning on your behalf. You're not just using it, you own it. As I said before, hashtag we own this. So this is BlockBot. This is your little guy, your AI engine for the Web 4. And it's more than just a bot. It's a living, evolving system that grows with you. So how does that happen? It learns from your behavior, preferences, and your missions. It earns daily rewards through proof of action, not speculation. It connects you to other users, projects, and rewards you on the ecosystem. And most importantly, it rewards you automatically every time you show up. You're not selling, you're not chasing, you're activating a system that does the work for you. So let that land. You're not doing the work, it's doing the work for you. So, what does this create? It gives us time. What is one of the biggest values? Certainly is for me. I don't know about you. The biggest value that we want back is time. Everybody's so freaking busy. What if you had some more time and you had something that was working for you? So super cool. So, this is where everything comes together. BlockBot and the Win blockchain form the engine of the new economy built on proof of action. Every action you take, so learning, sharing, selling, helping others, is recorded on the chain and rewarded. Okay, any action. This isn't speculation. This isn't hype. You're not getting paid um, because a token's being pumped. You're getting rewarded because you showed up and did the work. And the more consistent your activity, the more you earn. And it's all backed by real world products, real world revenue, and real world impact. Real world impact. Remember, I started with saying some problems. You can either get to choose whether or not you're part of the problem or part of the solution. So, real world impact. This is a value that's all tied to action, not attention, and that changes absolutely everything. So, let me just talk into this slide a little bit more for you. I'm going to dive a little more deeper on this one because these are the sorts of things in the ecosystem that just freaking light me up. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, some of the problems that we have, agriculture. So, what if we had agriculture that was nourishing people, animals, and the planet? Energy that, own a part of the largest public global decentralized power grid in the world and help to set power free. Give you an example. I use my tokens. Now, this again, paradigm shift, right? So if this is going over your head, that's totally okay. Get back with the person who invited you to the call and they'll give you some more information to speak on this. I used my green, which is the energy, tokens to pay my electric bill last month. Crazy. I got rewarded. It was cheaper and I'm helping the ecosystem and the planet. Banking, a bridge and a guide between the worlds of traditional finance and DeFi. Health and wellness, taking ownership of your own health and your wellness through the blockchain. The world's first community-owned social impact platform. So rather than this mindless scrolling, how about being part of a social impact that was actually making real world impact, being rewarded for good things in the world? Video conferencing. We're on one of the platforms, one of the projects right now, real world projects, real world utility. Link is one of the projects. This one here that I'm talking about, video conferencing. This is revolutionizing communication with blockchain technology. Charity, usually one-to-one. We have charities on the blockchain where 100% transparent. You can see exactly where your funds are going and what they're being used for. One of the charities that is really close to my heart is Free a Girl. I know because of the blockchain that we've been able, since we've been part of that project, we've been able to rescue over 4,000 kids. Not only that, we've brought more than 30 perpetrators to legal action. The kids, as they're rescued, They get a choice whether or not they want to be educated, which most do. And then some of them are taking on, because it's only in the early stages, taking on law where they can take on the perpetrators. Real world impact. It makes my heart sing. Mining, fight destruction mining practices all over the world. This is so cool. And it's not just about rewards and finances. We actually get to make real impact in the world. And, it's about creating legacy as well as, looking after our own families and our own communities. What can we take beyond that? It's so super cool. So let's break down the whole structure of it for you. So, people spend easily $1,200 on an iPhone. And what do you get back for that? So it's a constant distraction, endless scrolling, as I mentioned, and zero return. You don't own that ecosystem. You are the freaking product. Like how many times have you been talking about something and it comes up on your phone? My husband and I were just talking about the tsunami. Bang, there's all the stuff on the tsunami on my phone. Like it's right there. $2,000 on a laptop, which is just, it is a work tool. It doesn't reward you. It doesn't grow with you. It just helps you get the job done. And now compare that to 2000 for a BlockBot. And here's what you get. You get daily rewards, you get automation that saves you time, you get ownership of your digital activity and data. You own it and you get rewarded. And it's not just another tool, it's a system that works for you. With BlockBot, you're not buying hardware, you're investing in a smarter, fairer digital life that actually pays you back. Pays you back. So this isn't a concept, it's already happening. We're here now and we're the fastest growing AI blockchain ecosystem in the world. We have over 41,000 BlockBots across 174 countries, over 1 trillion transactions, and 560 billion in mined rewards. This is real traction. This isn't a theory. This is freaking momentum. It's so exciting. And BlockBot isn't a theory anymore. It's already powering real world impact across industries that matter most. In video communications, as I said, this platform we're on, it protects your privacy and it keeps your conversation secure. Nobody's harvesting, nobody's listening in, nobody's selling information. It protects your privacy and keeps your conversation secure. In the energy world, it's helping people lower their power bills, as I shared with you, and earn rewards through a smarter system. In the food and agriculture, it's promoting clean, locally sourced, and fair distribution, peer to peer, straight to our farmers. No industrial manipulation. In health, it's shifting our focus to the root cause, not just prescribing pills. In finance, in the banking, it's breaking down the barriers across and through decentralized tools. And in AI, it's building personalized assistants that actually serve you, not spy on you. This isn't just one app or a project, it's one system that scales across infinite industries. And we're just getting started. There is so much more that is in the pipeline and coming. And the best part above all of this, you own your piece of it. You're not a user, an outsider, you're a co owner in the future. So, this is so much bigger than one tool. When you activate your BlockBot, you're not just buying software, you're plugging into a living ecosystem of decentralized projects. If you have a look on this picture, you'll see that all of the things that are listed here, from energy with green, from wellness with Elevate, agriculture with Grow, AI tools, finance, education, communication, and more. Each of these is community owned, powered by the Win blockchain, because everything comes back through the Win blockchain, and connected, excuse me, excuse me, and connected through Connect. Kind of think of it, it's like the Apple App Store and for Web4, except this time you're not just a user, you're an owner. Everything's designed to reward action, not speculation. And the more you explore, the more powerful your BlockBot becomes. This is the universe you've plugged into. One system, dozens of industries, endless opportunity. So this is where your Web4 journey begins. Step one, get back to the person who invited you to this call to get their link and to grab, so that you can purchase your BlockBot, and they'll be able to help you how to get started with that. And if you do get stuck, just reach out to me. Happy to assist you and get you back in touch with the person and support you through that. This isn't a subscription. You actually own BlockBot. Okay. Step two, activate your reward system, connect to the network, and plug into the real world value. Step three, start earning daily. You're now part of the new digital economy, and one that pays you for what you do. This isn't about renting access or using someone else's platform. This is about ownership. This is about your control, giving it back to you. And it's about being early. Pardon me. Don't just use the new internet, own it. So, my friends, that brings me to the end. Thank you ever so much for joining. I am going to just do a quick run through. Yes, that's correct, Alison. ChatGPT can use what you put in its content in a court of law, correct? I believe that to be true. I can't see any other questions coming in. Oh, Papua New Guinea. Awesome. Love that. Bangladesh. USA. King's in the house. Always good to have you, buddy. Brisbane. So many wonderful people. Thank you, everybody. That is me for this evening. I am going to stop. Hello, Kian. Great to see you, my friend. I'm going to